New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Hello, and welcome back to Global Focus today. I am your host, Reverend Dr. Sharri Johnson, and my guest today is not just one of the coolest ministers on the face of the planet. He's one of my favorite people in the whole world, Reverend Dr. Charles Geddes. This man is so cool. Listen to this. When he was a bartender, when he was 20 years old, he became a bartender. And the man who trained him to be a bartender also introduced him to New Thought, to religious science, and was his significant other for 5 years. Now, how's that for a trifecta? And he started studying ballet when he was 6, and he taught ballet from the ages of 14 to 16. And finally, he won awards in high school for acting and directing. And that was the original field that he wanted to go into before ministry. So please help me welcome Reverend Dr. Charles Geddes. Thank you so much for saying yes. It's always so much fun when you come.
I adore you. Your spirit, your heart, your soul, the essence of an ever emerging, deepening, and youth that is the beauty of never losing sight of the inner child within us. And you delight in that. You are beautiful in that.
Well, now, I always ask my guests to tell me what kind of things they'd like to talk about. And you picked one of the topics that's been really on my mind lately, and that is the idea of aging as a privilege, conscious aging. Would you say a little more about why that's important to you and how you honor it?
It's important because I am. I am aging, and there's no escaping the journey of aging. And in the meantime, what are we carrying forward is the most important thing and inquiry that we can look at and realize that there's, in my Mind Your Own Becoming work, that is the Zoom program that I have for education and historical accuracies and things that can remind us that we really need to have compassion and love for one another. But the most important inquiry is realizing what I'm carrying forward in this life, in my journey of becoming, which is ongoing. And I love to remind people always, you have only two choices in life. And isn't that beautiful to have it be so pure and simple? Oh, really? Yeah, really. Better or bitter? and better shows, better glows, better grows, better shows, better glows, and better grows. And I want to be able, in my journey of aging and the privilege of it, to look in the mirror and honor that I've come a great distance, and that the rest of my journey is to be the best, to the very deepest that I can bring forth, to be in a continuity of love and regard, above all, for myself. And when I look at my history and where I was in my 20s, 30s, and for decades of my life, wanting to prove myself, prove my value, and I'm finally at this stage of my life, I don't I'm not driven to prove my value. I'm driven to just be valuable, just to be valuable to myself and to others.
Absolutely. And uh, one of the other topics that you gave me is another one that I think is always appropriate because I'm still working on it and I don't know anybody who isn't, and that's forgiveness. But you phrased it a little differently. You said self-forgiveness is more important than forgiving others. You want to explain that for us?
It's deeper than I've ever realized, more profound than I've ever known. And understanding that I lived, in all honesty, up until recently, I still carried quantum feelings of unforgiveness for Charles. And to such a point that I realized I needed support and help. The amazing thing in ministry and in our service and counsel to others, that we put everything else and everyone else first. And just recently, I made the investment in personal counsel in a manner and way for the first time in my life. And I went through a therapy that's called EMDR. You can look it up on the online, but it is a potent therapy where there is deep feelings of shame, abuse, or guilt that you still carry. And it's also for those that have suffered, PTSD syndrome, that they've come back from war or brutality in some way or from their childhood. Well, I've done some inner work that came to a realization that was the most powerful thing that I've ever had occur within me. And it was that I had, in an experience, and not the story of this, but an experience of being beaten and pretty brutally by 4 men at a point in time in my life, that it was a wake-up call. But my first prayer for them, for my abusers, was to forgive them and pray that they would find their way through life and never want to be in such harming of another. But I took that into my soul, that it was my fault, that I shouldn't have been where I was at that point in time, and that it was my fault that it happened. And for the first time in my life, Reverend Sharri, through this therapy form, I was able to realize that I could say the words, "It wasn't my fault." I could say them, and I felt them. And my therapist, when it was doing what it was doing through what this therapy is about, is bringing the left and right brain into a new focus and perspective of your past. And I was able to say those words and realize I had never self, because I took it on as my fault. And to say those words after, again, I'm 82, 83, to say those words for the first time ever, that wasn't my fault, and forgive myself. Self-forgiveness is key to finally realizing our own value and worth in a way that I had not before. And it's changed everything for me. And that's why the whole point of what's new for me is I'm going deeper in this man. I haven't arrived. I have not arrived anywhere. I've just come to a place of, did that feel wonderful for me to say, Charles, it wasn't your fault, and you forgave those men, And when you think of them now, you send them love, pray their lives had turned out to something better and richer than what they were suffering. But that I finally could say, Charles, you know what? You're worth loving, and it wasn't your fault.
That's so cool. I love it. I have heard of that therapy before. So I'm just, me personally, who loves Dr. Charles, am very happy that you found that and that it was successful for you. It was the right therapy for you. And you were talking about growing, and I get the picture of a tree in my mind. Best teacher I ever had in high school biology said, trees never die from old age. They only die when some outside force causes them to stop growing. And that's exactly what you're saying, is that just because I got more rings on my trunk than other people doesn't mean I'm going to stop growing.
No.
Because the roots go down and the branches go up, and magic happens. So tell us about this new retreat that you're developing that's going to be next spring.
I am excited from the standpoint that it was birthed out of the reality that this year was the last year of the Big Sky Retreat that I had been a part of from its founding 48 years ago. And we made the decision in late spring that in practicality and wisdom and integrity, we couldn't continue. The cost and the challenges that had unfolded in the past few years of the retreat in this beautiful resort, a Big Sky Resort up in Big Sky, Montana, was just prohibiting to, in practicality, continue. So with heartfelt emotion, it was, we are going to let it go. And it impacted me in many ways more deeply than anyone from the standpoint of conception. And one of the things that occurred after that decision was made, and my dealing with the grief and sadness of it, but also the rightness of it. You know, there's a big difference when you know there's wisdom behind the decision. And that from that point, I do an inquiry thing into my soul. When anything is completing and I'm having to let it go, then the insight is to come not from a why, but from a what. And since I've shared before on this beautiful program that, you know, I believe in angel energy around me all the time. And so the inquiry was from them, Charles, what do you want to be now? And what do you want to feel? What do you want to be? What do you want to feel? And the first thing that came out, I want to deepen. And I want to know that there are people out there that, first of all, may have known me for decades, and new people that are meeting me, and that they want to deepen too. And that deepen means that you're willing to go deeper in processing what's coming through you. I want to feel that I am sharing my going deeper, and that I still have more to give. And it's not reinventing the Big Sky Retreat and the production that's behind that. It's about, I want to create an experience, an absolute experiential kind of retreat. And I want to draw people, not only obviously from all my years of New Thought, but I want to draw people from those professors and teachers that I've been introduced to and know through Mind Your Own Becoming, and have them be keynotes at this retreat. And so I decided that I wanted to create a spiritual retreat that was not a resort place, that was a retreat center. And I was led through a sequence and came about and to realize that this was all angel led. It's like, Charles will show you the way. And I found this retreat center called Spirit in the Desert. And I love the name. And I clicked onto it and saw their website and saw their purpose, which was to provide a retreat center that people could come to for a day, 2, 3, or have events and workshops and seminars at, that was really committed to spiritual deepening and awakening. And it's Lutheran based, but very broad in their welcoming all. And they recently had a Muslim group that came, and absolutely, of course, that's what they should be doing. And but I purposely decided I spoke with them, was thrilled with the vibration I felt, and I flew there to Phoenix. It's in Carefree, Arizona. Don't you love Carefree? Like, oh my God, Carefree, Arizona, Spirit in the Desert. I saw their facility. It's sacred, it's holy, it's beautiful. They were thrilled with what I wanted to bring. They said, you're the kind of person and people and event we want to have here. And so it's on. And it's set for April 26th to May 1st. And it's in the springtime in the desert. The weather's beautiful. It's beautiful. The desert in bloom. And you can get full information. Go to register a time to deepen at gmail.com. And you'll get a registration form. We have a Facebook, a Time to Deepen Facebook page. And the flyer is on that page. Registration request is on that page. But the mornings will be filled with potent content. There'll be that's physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. And the mornings will have yoga for everyone, regardless of age. And that the morning program, again, the keynote people I have, college professors and others that are working on deeper levels. Dr. A-Team George traveled the world for over 30 years. Dr. Lemuel Watson, again, college professor, brilliant in community building. I have John Harold Moore, that people, he was at an Anton conference a couple of years ago with Michael Gott in family constellations. And then this beautiful man, Edward Miller, who works in non-duality and Ho'oponopono. That's the kind of content that you're going to be getting. And your afternoons, silence, 3 hours of silence to take it all in. And then an afternoon energizing program. The room and your meals are all included. So it's $165 a day per person for your room and meals. $165 a day. 5 days of that, it's $825 total. But that includes all your meals. And the registration for the keynotes and the people we're bringing is $575. You pay that separately first. But I'm more excited than I can tell you. And it's about the deeper holy work that I want to bring and offer to other people that are wanting to invest in something entirely different, and an opportunity to have coming together for 70, 75 people. So that's what's happened.
Too cool. And you didn't mention, but when we talked earlier, you said to me that this is going to be an annual event, right?
It is intended to be an annual event, and I'm seeing the success of it from the first one to provide that it can be annual, because this isn't a last hurrah for me. It's meant to be hurrah, and there's more to come. So yes,
that's great. I just love the whole idea. I mean, I have a friend who was my first CSL practitioner, and she used this term God wink. And it seems to me Carefree Arizona and Spirit in the name of the retreat center, and exactly at this time, that's 3 God winks in a row.
Yeah.
That's just 3 God winks in a row. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen next, because I know magic is fixing to come out of this. I really do.
I accept that, and I'm knowing that in my heart, the way it all came together, creating, again, this is completely different from Mind Your Own Becoming. Mind Your Own Becoming is a nonprofit educational forum. So what's behind it is very different motivated than what is with this retreat. This retreat is not a nonprofit, but it's an investment on your spiritual journey. And, I'm just bringing everything I can together that those of you that will consider registering and register, that you will have an experience that you will want to come back to. And I can tell you this, that the last retreat of the Big Sky was beyond anything that I can define, because there were 25 new people and 50 returnees. And everyone that came knew it was the final retreat. So yes, there was that underlying, the sadness of letting go, but the profound reality of it was joy and the magnificence of, Dr. James Mellon was a keynote, beautiful musician. Robin Hackett was our music. We had power talks. Everyone that shared in that retreat, it all tied into the celebration and that valuing that we hold the record for the longest ongoing metaphysical retreat on record, ongoing at 48 years. And in the meantime, that new is being born in us all the time if we're willing to see it. And it's not grieving the loss of, grief is a natural feeling, of course, but it's not carrying that grief. There's new purpose that's meant to be birthed out of it. And if you genuinely love something, new purpose is to emerge out of it when you have to let it go. That goes in a relationship, that goes in anything. That what can I find in new purpose that moves me to claiming a new view of myself and something deeper and more to give back from all that I've received.
Now, I love how you came about creating this new retreat, but I'm curious to know how you decided who to ask to come and be speakers, because they're not just ministers, they're professors. No. And so I'm just really curious how you did that.
Through my experience with Mind Your Own Becoming and being introduced to college professors that were willing to come on board for a truly minimal honorarium and share their work and what they were doing in the world and the classes that they were teaching and the depth behind them and the education that they brought forth in their presentations that was profound in all the issues that Mind Your Own Becoming is about, which is world equity, equity for all without exception. And looking at how many of them have traveled the world and seen what few of us see, and that culturally how much we have to learn, that the stark reality is that world governments can truly be a nightmare. But the people are all wanting something so much simpler and purer, to just have lives of choice, to have lives of regard and value and love for one another, to take care of their families in ways that are not about richness, but the richness of love and honoring what it is to have families that you bring up in love and regard. We're all here together as a world family, and our needs are not that complex. We make them so. But the purity is, can we just live life profoundly and beautifully and be the artist of our journey and have the right to explore who we are? And these teachers, they evidence that, they live that, they teach that to the younger generations. And that's what I wanted in this retreat, is that kind of depth and contribution, and working from, we're all in this together, and the only way we're going to survive, we either evolve or dissolve as humanity.
So the angels that pointed you to your next path probably were talking to the angels that pointed them to what they were going to do next. I'm seeing a whole lot of celestial cooperation going on here to create this retreat.
Yeah, thank you. And I so believe that the way it came about, the sequence that I went to incorporate as a sole proprietorship in the state of Montana. And when I put forth the name, I was, God, and a time to deepen. And it was like, yeah, that's fine. Call it a time to deepen. and it was so minimal to make the investment to be a sole proprietor. And yeah, there's a little more mindfulness in how you keep records, of course. But in the meantime, I'm sharing this from my heart. I didn't want to have to go through a board. I wanted this to be solely the expression and the journey of Charles and what he wants to give and bring about, and that it wasn't about having to get approval or put more work on a board of directors. It was like, no, I will get support and help for this retreat. They will pop up, show up, be there. And, already I have media support through this beautiful soul, Reverend Jen Dickey, who was a power speaker at the retreat at Big Sky, and she's helping me. There's too many things that have come together that were magical, sequential, amazing for this not to be a success.
So basically, we just have to get ourselves out of the way and let beauty happen.
Yes. Yeah. Get all the, I have the human part of me that's, oh golly, I want to get these registrations in. We're having a rate that if you register by November 30th, that you'll save some money from what it will be after that. But the bottom line is that, hey, this is a retreat in which a group of, we can't have more than about 70, 75. So that's intimacy. And this is a group of people that can come to know each other in a deeper way than ever through those 5 days, and have an experience that they take with them that prayerfully will change their lives in a way in which how they live their lives from that point on. That's my motivation, to change their lives, how they live their lives from that point on.
Oh, that's fabulous. So, there are these 5 questions I ask all my guests.
Uh-oh.
And that was a good intro for the first one. The first question is there anything that you want our viewers to know about you, about Carefree Arizona, about the retreat? Anything that you want our viewers to know that I haven't asked you about? This is your chance to say it.
Go to the retreat, spiritinthedesert.org. Go there and take a look at their website. Read about their history and the beauty of it. Take a look at the rooms. Take a look at the meditation sites. Take a look at the dining hall. It's so inviting. It's all beautiful. And we will help you in how the room situation is. It's, again, not a resort. So the rooms are not like 5-star luxury rooms like has been at the Big Sky Resort. But they're beautiful. They're more than adequate. They're wonderful. And every room, oh my goodness, has a balcony or patio. So you can sit out and take in the beauty of the desert around you, and um, and yeah, just realize, invest in something that will be soul nurturing for you, and that you will be so grateful that, because it is an investment, yes, but I pray your return is something that, like I said, changes how you see yourself in a more beautiful way than ever, just as how I'm seeing Charles in a way that I've never seen him before. And it feels so good. It feels wonderful.
Okay, here's the next question. How does what you're in, this is a situation that I've never had before. So you've answered this question with respect to mind your own becoming. I want you to answer it now with respect to reimagining your world. How does what you do and how you do it, how you be Charles Geddes, how does that encourage, enhance, support, whatever verb you want to pick, conscious evolution?
Everything is about conscious evolution, is about conscious awakening, is about being conscious, period. And that the reimagining my world is the willingness to let go of the stories that we've unconsciously held on to in ways that have stayed in our bodies. There's a wonderful keynote that we had at Big Sky, Angel Howard, who has written a book called "The Issues Are in the Tissues." And what I realized in the therapy I went through was that I had held on a deep, deep level those issues of unforgiveness and holding on to blame that wasn't mine to carry forward in a way that I never realized. I knew intellectually, but I was never able to realize in a manner and way in which it took place within my body. Oh my God, I don't have to carry that anymore. And so reimagining your world, the world I wake up to, and if I tap into every day, can be overwhelming, so distressing, so concerning. But I choose to reimagine that every day I wake up to the reality of the world that is Charles. And what is the vibration that I am carrying forward? Am I working diligently? Khalil Gibran's love, work is love made visible. Work it. Work is love made visible. And if you don't like the word work, effort, purpose, good purpose is love made visible. Do it and reimagine daily what you can give to this day, what you can bring to it. And that vibration, if we choose that collectively, individually, collectively, wow, does it make a difference in what we will see in our world in the future for future generations? No matter what generation we're speaking of, the new generations coming in, reimagine. You're here to see a better, kinder, more compassionate world. Reimagine that daily. Don't believe in others. Don't believe in separation. I heard this statement that, we're not just a drop of the ocean were the ocean itself. But this morning in my pre-meditation, it was like, wow, I'm the ocean, and I'm an individualized drop here to bring my awareness, my reimagining, the glory and wonder that I have the same essence that the ocean has, that God has, that the universe has inside of me. Reimagine that, will you? Reimagine that. The world is of my own making and choosing every day.
Well, we could just stop there, but I'm not going to, because I've got some more questions. The next one sounds a lot like that one, but it's a different question. How does what you do and how you do it, with respect to Spirit in the Desert and reimagining your world, how does that enhance, support, reveal, pick your own verb, world peace?
You know, the peace that passeth understanding is within me, that the holy ground that I'm upon is to be blessed, and that inner peace only comes when I am in a daily practice of blessing the ground upon which I stand. It is holy ground, and ground meaning my consciousness, ground meaning the awareness that I carry, that I move forward, so that inner peace, when this man Charles walks in a consciousness of inner peace and not warring within himself, not carrying the stories that have blocked my realization of the wonder hyphen full reality I am, the wonder, wow, hyphen full reality that I am, to be this man, to be in this body, to be in the two-spirited reality that I am, male and female, and that I have the gift to see the world differently, but in a way that encompasses, embraces everyone with regard. And that's it's just living from that place.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Okay. One more. Well, two more. But this is the big one. Got to close your eyes for this one because you have to use your imagination. Now, we are presuming that every single thing goes exactly the way you want it to go. Every detail, every event, every encounter, every relationship, everything, every thought in your heart goes exactly the way you want it to go for the next 10 years. Then 10 years from now, what does Reverend Dr. Charles Geddes and reimagining your world look like?
Freedom. Absolute freedom. Absolute love. That honoring the good job that I have done, the forgiveness work that I have realized for others, for myself, that to the very, very best that I've known, that I've lived these principles that mean so much to me, and that I've passed them on as best I could, not being attached who got them or who didn't, but just that I did my best, and that other people, because I came up on their path, have something a little kinder and better in their hearts for themselves. And that when they do remember me, there's a smile. They smile.
Yes. Okay, last question. Will you come back?
Oh,
The first opening I have is September 16th of 25, which is after your retreat, so you'll be able to tell us all about
actually, no retreat. So September 26th, no retreat, no Big Sky retreat. I'll be feeling that.
No. I mean, it'll be after the Reimagining Your World retreat.
Oh, yeah, that will. Yeah, okay, thank you.
All right, good. Then I got you, and you'll get an email just a little bit ahead.
All right, I love it.
And folks, I want you to know you want to be sure you're here next week, because instead of having a Zoom guest, which is what we normally do, next week we will be live at the Anton Annual Retreat, and our guest will be live in person in the same room with me, Reverend Dr. Jerry Troyer from Urban Street Angels, and you don't want to miss it because he's a hoot. In the meantime, have a great week, have a great weekend, and don't forget that I love you. Bye-bye.
Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things.
On behalf of everyone at New Thought Media Network, thank you for being a member of our virtual family. Your financial contributions help share the New Thought message with people from around the world. Please visit and contribute at www.ntmedia.org/donate. New Thought Media Network, come be you. And please like,